Alright, hello guys. Just live in the studio. I was just recording something different with the hoops. If you guys are wondering what I'm doing here, I'm in the studio here in Edmonton, just working on some tracks. And hello, Susan from Winnipeg. Yeah, I just hit the record button. I just set up here and I was recording this track here. Now I get to listen to it. Like, I just wanted to see if I can record the hoops and somehow like embed it in my music and give it like some sort of effect so that the sound of the hoops is like integrated, like it's a real sound that would be hard to imitate anywhere else, if you know what I mean. So I'm giving it my own unique signature stamp, if that means anything. So I'm gonna take a look at it or listen to it now. Yeah, you can hear it actually. Let's see, I'll turn it up a little bit. Yeah, you can. Ah, yeah, there it is. Okay. So you can hear the subtleness of it in the track. So what I can do is I can actually put that through a filtering system, like a sound filtering. I could EQ it, I can clean it up a little bit, and then I can make it as an undertone of white noise that probably only I'm gonna know it's there, but to the trained ear, you'll probably hear it, and maybe once you hear the track after I've done it, you'll probably hear it as well. So that's just a little music making process sometimes that we go through as artists. We do different things. So since I'm making a soundscape for a project that involves flute music, that's really why I'm going for that. So the next thing I'm gonna do is probably record some guitar, I think, and we'll get that happening here. So I'm gonna hit record, and you guys will see me on screen there, and I'll be playing my guitar. So I'm gonna hit record right about here, and I notice how I like label the tracks and stuff. So I always try to label the tracks. It's a good thing. Helps to keep track, to label the tracks. Always good to have a little notepad handy. So we're gonna label this one just plain old guitar. Guitar. There we go. It's been a while since I played live guitar in a track, so I'm gonna blow it up here and let you guys have a look. So I'm basically gonna start it somewhere when that beat kicks in. I haven't edited that track yet, but this one is this was the hoop track. That's just it's the very first time I've ever recorded a hoop before. I don't know what whoever records a hoop. I guess a hoop dancer like me would think of something like that. Hoop dancer records the hoop. Hey, okay, so I'm going to switch it over now. I'm going to hit the record button. That's the magic button that makes it all possible. So I hit the record button, and then I'm going to go straight away in there. My guitar's tuned. I'm just going to play by ear and see what comes out of it. Good thing about it is that I can edit it after and then loop it, hopefully. That's the kind of the goal of going in and self-recording, especially like when you're by yourself. So it's self-producing. but it's easy stuff, right? It's stuff that I wouldn't necessarily need to hire like a big time producer or studio to do when I can do it myself. So it saves a lot of time and money. Um, and thank you. I give a shout out to Fava Studios. That's where I'm at, Fava Studios in Edmonton. So giving them some love, showing them some love. If you guys don't know Fava, it's the Film and Audio Association Alberta, I think is what they're called. But anyways, I'm gonna hit the record button. Here we go. Oh, smokes, I just realized how loud it is. Sorry guys. I'm gonna have to start that over again. And it says hoopla again. That's no good. Oh, no, I don't want to keep that. So, yeah, I don't know why it was. Okay, I had that selected. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so you always want to check the volume. So it's a good thing to check the volume. So I'm gonna make sure that this time. So the volume is right here. Usually your control room volume is, I've got a separate mixer like down here for it. So the control volume is, here I'll show you. There's the control volume down there and the computer. And it's a somewhat simple setup, but it's not so simple. You kind of have to know what you're doing here to set it up. And I've been tinkering with sound in studios for the past decade or so. So I know a thing or two, but I don't profess to be an expert, but I'll try my best to show you my expertise and knowledge and what I know so far. So I have established the drum check, got everything set. Oh yeah, I should turn down the mic just a tad because I had it hot for the hoops. And I'm just turning down the monitor so I don't blast you guys out and I don't hear any thumping in that mic when I'm in that room, because I can kind of hear a thump. So turn down the speakers and we'll give it a try. Here we go. Take two. Take too many. might have got a couple of juicy parts in there. I just realized too that I lost my pick. Alright, I don't know if I lost it. I put it down somewhere. I usually have it in my, I have a little pick pocket. And now I just don't have it. That's weird. Sometimes I put it in other pockets, but yeah, okay. Or sometimes it's just right in front of me and I don't even know it. Alright, I'm gonna give it a look here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, found it. Yeah, so I found it there and found my pick. It was, like I said, I put it down somewhere. So I'm going to take a look here and see what you know. The good thing about this is if you played something you like, and I did keep it simple. Like it's basically a G to a B minor chord and a G to a B minor chord and a B minor to an E minor chord, back and forth. And so I can kind of bend notes around that with the flute. So that's what I'm going to add next is the wish, right? So I'm guessing that this is probably good from, I don't know, somewhere right here. So I cut off a little bit of it there, and then I'm going to cut off a little bit here. I don't know, better not. I better make sure that this is in line first. So I need to jump in here and do some editing. Sometimes you can just drag this down, or else you can go. Oh, yeah, you can go like this. Sometimes you can expand it like that. Huh. Well, these commands change all the time, so it's okay. Some mouse things you can actually expand on the mouse. It's cool, but I can't do it on this one. So this is Fava's computer, so I don't want to mess it up. So that was kind of sounding like decent, I guess, to my ears. So that's like a rough take anyway. Yeah, it's not bad. See if I can jive with it first. So there's the E minor change. And now I'm gonna see if I can bend some flute notes. With this flute anyway, I might be able to make it work. There we go. So yeah, like I said, I could probably bend some notes in there. Yeah, I kind of messed that one up there, so I'll cut that one out there. So I will just use this as a template, and essentially the idea behind it is to cut out the bad parts, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna figure out where this beat lands. So, okay, it's 45 bars, somewhere around there. Okay, we'll make it a 36 bar beat. I can't remember how many bars of a pattern I played. Let's try it this way. See if it... Okay, that needs to go back a bit. So probably to 35, I'm guessing. So. There we go, see? If you play in time, it makes it a lot easier. If you're out of time, then yeah, then it's a lot more difficult to find it. But if you're on time, then it's great. Then we can. Oh man, what's the deal? This is supposed to be a smart mouse. It's not very smart, I tell you. Oh, okay. You just one tap it. Okay, I guess maybe I'm not the smart one. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go to. This is what I'm doing here is I'm setting up the snap to grid. I'm setting up the. You can set the parameters on how you cut this, right? So I'm gonna cut this right on beat. So if you look closer to what I'm doing here, I'll bring you guys down here and oh, thanks guys, thank you so much. Yeah, so if you look on here, I'm actually snapping it to grid based on, I'm gonna do it on the beat. So when I actually cut this, I'm gonna hit command click and then hold that command button and X. Oops, I'm gonna go command Z and then I'm gonna go command click and then actually they changed it. So you got to command click and click. That's how you do it. So command click and click. So anyways, I've split off that track and I found the loop. So basically it's a 36 bar loop, or no, it's a 35 bar loop. So I don't know how many bar pattern that is. So I'm gonna get rid of this excess. So now I have this pattern here. Yeah, it's a 35 bar pattern. So 35 bars is, I don't know, it's 104. So yeah, I'll start it right on right when the beat, or after the second drum line comes in, right? So and I'll scale this back a little bit just to make it, before I do that, I'll just do this. Okay, don't need any of that. So I just go in here, and again, I do it on beat. So command click, click again, and then out with the garbage. And then same thing with this too. I take this to the front over here. So probably around bar 4, I think, is where I start to get with it. So bar 4. Okay. Maybe bar 3, I'd say. So I cut everything here too. So I just command click. There's a lot of editing involved in this, so it takes a while to make a song, and it takes a while to make like music. I guess it's a process, right? It's a ongoing, non-stop, repetitive process. So I don't know what this is here. I'm gonna look see here. Okay, that's a little hot. Okay. there we go. So that's that. Maybe I'll start the guitar sooner. I'll start that before I start the beat. All of that, and then it brings into the beat. This right here. Okay. That'll be like my little guitar intro. So option C is my colors. So I like to color things. So there we go. I color that one so I know that that's an intro piece there. I don't need to look at it any further than that. So back to the recording part now. Now let's have a look at that. So we got a little bit of a track established here, something I can play against, something I can work with, something I can loop, and I can always add to it. I can add other layers now that I know the formula of the song. So I'm gonna look at see if it all lines up now. Off a beat. There we go. Always good when you get it on beat. Not so good. Then you gotta zoom in and do it all over again. So there we go. Just doing some editing here on the first track I got here. I'm gonna throw some flute on it. Okay. So I recorded some hoop, recorded some guitar, and then the flute will come. Okay, so flute. And there we go. So you can hear it's like jiving, right? It's jiving to the beat. It's like it's got that pulse to the rhythm. You hear that? That's the driving force. And that's what the guitar is following. Now the flute is gonna float on top of that, right? It's gonna be like landing on top of those beats and that groove, right? So we'll try our best here. I haven't even done any mixing to it or anything like that, so I'm gonna just play flute right from the top of the show. I'm just gonna like freestyle my flute. I'm gonna I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do, but what I am gonna do though now is just to make things saucy. I'm gonna add a little. I'm gonna add a little bus on the a little verb on the and create a bus. So if you guys don't know what that is, you're gonna know right away here. What's a bus? What's a bus? A bus is like something that you get the kids to ride to school with, right? Just kidding. No, actually, it is a bus, but there's another kind of bus here that I'm gonna show you. So you gotta go into your sends and go bus. So I'm gonna use I don't know, bus 4. And so I've created a channel here, bus 4. Where'd it go? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Okay. So bus 4, I'm basically just gonna throw some reverb on. I'm just gonna do like basically. Wow, there's a lot of plugs here. You gotta know what you're looking for. Otherwise, you can get lost in this stuff. So I know that I use Space Designer. So I'd like to use Space Designer, and nowadays you gotta go stereo, mono stereo, I think, because it does give that extra layer because sound systems are so good nowadays. And we'll just get a little tad bit of a reverb on it. So I'm not gonna use factory default. I'm gonna go with like a large space and an outdoor space. So I'm gonna go into like mountain echoes. That one's always my go-to. And maybe I'll turn down the wet a little, or maybe a little tiny bit. I'll play with that. And I'll undry it a little bit. And pre-delay, maybe I'll do 30 milliseconds just to set it off. And I'm gonna throw it over here just so you can kind of see what's going on. And then, so what I got to do here in the channel now is I got to turn this up. So I'm going to give myself some juice here. So let's say about 11, like a minus 11 dB. That's what I'm going to turn it up. So basically what that's going to give me is it's going to give me, and the reason why I do this is that it gives me a pretty sound in my headphones, but it's not going to record that way. And the reason for that is that so you can manipulate it later and add, say you don't like the reverb you record with, well, this way you're not stuck with it, right? And you don't have to waste time, and it's a quick fix to solving, like, because most flute players are used to playing with an echo, or singers too, they like that with the echo, or it's nice to have that echo, like it gives you a sense of space and time, right? So that's kind of why we do that, or why people like that in the studio, because it gives you that humanness about it, of hearing your voice and echoing back and echoing and making it the soundscape, right? It's all part of one big sonic boom of a soundscape that you're in, and it's like boom, your bubble. Here we go. So I'm gonna give it a try. Turn up that, turn down the mix here. You guys are still gonna hear it. You're gonna see me playing it over there inside of the studio. And then I'm about to go and lay down some tracks with my trusty old flute here. So bear with me. Always hit save as you go. Right now I call this track Generations to Come. I just gave it a name. I don't know if it's going to stick, but it is what it is for now. It's better than looking for a file that says unknown. You know, if the computer crashes. So just a word of advice to some of my peeps out there that do home recording projects, always save. So here we go. I'm gonna start recording the flute now. All right, I think that's a pretty good start. Pretty good go at it, and yeah, there's not much to really figure out after that. Like, so that's sitting pretty good. Not bad, not bad for a first try. And remember, I got to do more takes. I got the mic set up. It's an ongoing evolution, but this is how you get started, right? Because there's no perfect way to do it, But if you guys wonder how I do the music for this channel, or I work on any of my music, for my flute music, yeah, I could do it by myself, but other kinds of music that I do, I tend to work with a team. So if I'm doing electronic music for DJ Crazy Cree, there's a majority of it that I do, but I also work with other producers to remix it as well. But a lot of times the work is done by yourself as an artist. Like, you have to be able to spend obscene amounts of time by yourself and be okay with it. You got to become your own best friend if you want to be doing any of this stuff, right? If you want to be getting anywhere with any of your projects, right? You have to become like your own biggest fan almost, right? So um, let's see how it sounds anyway from the first take I did. Oh yeah, cool. I have the bus on there too, but it's not recorded that way. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. It's typical flute, right? So I'm making it up on the spot. Sometimes I come into the studio and I have a melody already in my head. Um, Today I kind of did. I've been having melodies floating around in my head for the longest time. And sometimes I get inspiration from other artists. Like, I've been listening to that new Adele song. So she's got really good melody sense, Adele. And so I've got some ideas off of that. Like, definitely you can piggyback off of other ideas from other artists. There's a lot of good writers in those projects. But this is like typically just a solo project when you're doing flute. If you can collaborate with more people, it's always good. You can produce different sounds, and it's a lot easier. It's a little less heavy on the creative side coming from you. Like, you can still oversee the project as the flute player, the writer, composer. But when you work with other artists, they contribute differently to projects. Just like, for example, when Freddie Mercury tried to go out on his own and produce his own stuff aside from Queen, well, that didn't go over so well. So I guess you got to be careful when you're self-producing too. Uh, For flute music, though, you can't go wrong with it, right? It's something that you are alone with a lot of the times, right? And but when you're doing like big band music or pop music or any kind of music, it's always nice to have a team. For this flute stuff, I can do it. I've done it with other people before, but now I'm just taking over myself, so I don't have to, wait around or book studio time. I am booking studio time, but for myself and self-producing. A lot of artists do it. So, anyways, this is how the track's sounding. This is like a template that I laid out for how to produce a flute track, and I should have put Logic. Maybe I'll put it in the description later. So, like, if you're using Logic Pro or Logic Express, I don't think they have Express, but it's all Logic Pro. You can get it off of the Apple iTunes. It's available there. They always have updates and stuff too. So, yeah, it's really worth it. So this is my own music. Nobody owns it but me, and I don't have to worry about getting flagged or copyright thing happening to me. It's all there. It's all in the proof is there. So yeah, I don't really have to sit here for 3 hours to show you guys. This is, if you're starting music, this is kind of a basic feel of what to expect if you're going to produce a song. So I already been here for a couple hours, so it took me a couple hours to get to this point, right? To set everything up, fire up the computer, hauling all my stuff and all my junk. And you know, besides that, I had other things I had to do in my day. You know, some people have day jobs and have to do this, right? So you really have to love it and be passionate about it. So don't get into it just because you want to make a buck or two. No, do it because you genuinely love it. And when you love something, you'll do anything for it. You know, just be careful when you do that for humans. If you love somebody so much and they don't love you back or whatever, right? Then it's not mutual. Then you know, find somebody that does. Plain and simple. So that's all there is to it, right? The ones that you love and the things that you love, keep them closest. That's all you could ever do. So yeah, I know this is about music, but music is life too. So every once in a while, I'll throw a little life jab in there for you. So yeah, this is basically my version of how I would create indigenous music for my channel. So you know, I'm not just copying it from somebody or copying and pasting. It's a process. So this is the initial arrangement writing process, and I still have a lot of editing to work on. And as you guys seen, some of you guys were live, and then as soon as I start editing, like boring, change the channel. But it is kind of boring because I'm sitting here gathering my thoughts and calculating things, and it's not fun to watch somebody calculate stuff. And I've been there. I've watched producers before, and it's like when they're doing their thing, you don't want to be around. You want to just go have a sandwich somewhere or whatever, right? Because it's a lot of focus, right? Because there's a lot of moving parts to this, right? There's key, there's tempo, there's tracks, you got to make sure there's levels are right. You got to, you know, there's compression, there's effects, there's the mix, there's the master. You know, there's a lot of moving parts that make this possible. But once you do align those parts and get them all right, that's where the magic happens, and that's how you spit out a song, right? And I've done that quite a few times. I spit out a lot of great demos. I've produced some songs. I've helped produce songs that made it on the radio a few times. You know, I've published quite a few of my own songs, but I've always, when I do it myself, I always filter it through other people. But that's like for more commercial stuff. This one is specifically for my channel. If you guys see my Dallas Arcand meditation music and you're wondering about it and how it's done, this is one of the ways. I've done a lot of different recording methods. I've recorded in different places. I've recorded outdoors, indoors. I've recorded in at home and not in a studio setting. Some of the videos that you hear, they're actually and like some of the 3 hours and 4 hour videos, some of those tracks are actually recorded and made at home, because you could actually put on a set of headphones and do this from anywhere. You don't need a studio. You could do most of the music on your own, but the recording part, if you're to do it at home, just make sure that you have a quiet place, or at least somewhat quiet, to record, and then boom, you just do it for about an hour or two and you're done. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. It's break time for me. Time to get up and go for a walk. I need to get out of the studio and not feel like a dungeon. I've already been in here like for like an hour, and then an hour before that. It's good to take breaks, hey? I'm not stay too long stuck in it, because it's not good for the posture, hey? So I'm gonna hit the save button, go for a cruise, go for a walk, and yeah, and then I'm gonna get back to it. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for tuning in, for those of you that have. And also, just a reminder, hit the like button on this video, or hit the subscription button. Subscribe to my channel for more continuous content as I share and go along here. And it's all free. And I appreciate all the love. So thank you guys so much. And you guys have a good night. And stay awesome. Stay golden. And stay cool. All right. Now, how do I stop this? Okay. All right. All right, guys. Have a good night. Peace out.